Hello, everybody. Since it is the full moon, we're going to use a few different style decks today. Okay. I do encourage you to get out there and view it. They're saying it's the Scorpio full moon. I don't know the astrological with that, but I just took a peek earlier and it's only partly cloudy where I'm at, so I was able to enjoy. And I got a little music going on in the background from actually another YouTube channel. But it's at the called the Maple Leaf Bar. And sometimes they do streaming of music, which is pretty cool. So that is what I'm listening to right now, in case you were wondering. Because if you were like, I don't recognize that, well, as you guys know, sometimes I do put music on in the background of my videos just to kind of, chillax a little bit, get in the zone, right? Get out of the speed lane. The fast lane, right? Life in the fast lane. All right. Let's see what this deck has to say today. Chickadee. Industry leadership review. Okay. So maybe something needs your review. Maybe you're the leader of some kind of business. Maybe you're a very industrious type person. Maybe you're in business with a partner or a spouse and you're like, hey, I need you to take lead on this, or I need you to review that before we sign off on it, whatever it is. Because, if you're both on that same branch, right, then you have you're like, yeah, I kind of want to know what's going on, right? All right. Dove. That's very interesting. I was thinking of this bird earlier today. Peace, relationships, purity. You see them, which I believe they say, well, I was looking at the ones down here, but I believe they say that, don't doves like mate for life or something? I don't know if anybody in the comments knows. Sorry, I can't see any comments right now if anyone's typing anything, but yeah. So again, the focusing on having a counterpart here. So during this full moon, you might be coming to an emotional realization of partnership, okay? Or how you partner in life in general, okay? Then we have the grouse. I will say not the most attractive bird, but it says here movement, stillness, and perception. Isn't that funny? Both movement and stillness. Okay. So to somebody else, they could be like, oh, you're moving too fast, blah, blah, blah. And somebody else is like, oh, you're not moving fast enough. Maybe it's a matter of perception. Right? What's your tempo? The band that's playing in the background, they have their own tempo, right? For somebody, they're like, oh no, this ain't my speed. Well, somebody's like, oh man, this is too heavy for me. Blah, blah, blah. It's all a matter of tape. And so for Goldilocks, she's like, it's just right. Okay? So however you gotta look at it to make it make sense. Okay? And obviously, if it don't make sense from no matter how you look at it, maybe it just isn't meant to make sense, right? Don't force it. Just like if this ain't your reading today, don't sweat it. You know what I mean? There's there's probably hundreds of other people live at this very moment where you're gonna be like, oh yeah, they get what I'm going through right now. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, the owl. Focus, prophecy, and wisdom. There's so many different kind of owls, but I feel like this is like a barn owl. So, sometimes you see them in the daylight, owls, right? And it's like a real, like, rare thing. But they are nocturnal animals. So you might have a better focus in the evening. You know, it's really weird. Somebody that's been on YouTube for a very long time that does readings, I happened to click on her video, and just the few minutes that I was on her video, she mentioned that she was recording in the evening, or like recording in the morning versus the evening or something. And like normally she's more, you know, like that night owl person. Like, you know, not everybody works first shift. You know, some people work second shift, some people work third shift. You know, there's a whole big bad world out there with other time zones in it, right? So your focus may not jive with somebody else, and they'll be like, "Oh, they like to stay up all night and do all sorts of crazy things." Well, maybe you just run at a different speed than they do. You know, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, who's watching the building at night, yo? You know, that's why they offer that night shift premium. Okay? So, you know, I've just had that in my life, especially, you know, some of these people that get on YouTube as motivational folks, right? And they're like, I'm up at 5 a.m. And after that, I eat a big bowl of this and then I go for a 10-mile run. Well, good for you. You know, I mean, maybe you like to run in the afternoon. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, just because you're not following whoever, whatever, you know, guru of the, you know, hour, right? That's why I have my other channel on YouTube called Feel Better Guru, because it's like, there's so many people out there that's going to give you advice, right? And I'm like, I'm just going to document what works for me over there. You know, so again, here, prophecy as well and wisdom. So the person that was doing that channel is actually just like kind of like a channeler, like I do, you know. And then wisdom. So, you know, there's a lot of people on YouTube that share their wisdom, right? Maybe you have something to share. Maybe you don't do, you know, spirituality readings or whatever, but maybe you are an auto mechanic and you found a little trick on how to change the gear shift sensor in your blah, 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 like whatever. Well, make a little video of it while you're doing it. Maybe somebody could use your help. Trust me, when I was switching out my gear shift sensor in my little Saturn that I had, okay, I was on the internet looking that stuff up beforehand, right? And I was doing it because I was saving myself some bucks. Okay, so is that not wisdom? Use your wisdom, however it may appear, right? And don't let people kind of bring you down that, like, because you're not fucking shitting rainbows at 4 a.m. after you had a double espresso to wake you up out of your normal grumpiness, right? That's the thing, too. Some of these morning people, they're like, Well, yeah, well, how many cups of coffee did you have to get to that moment? You know what I mean? Like, not everybody has 15 minutes to an hour to prep before they have to get in and get something done. Yeah, I'm talking to the parents out there. I mean, I'm sure they know that. But, you know what I mean? Some people who are parents, I feel like either forgot or maybe they took that day off of parenting. I don't know. Because it's like, it's a hard reset. I don't know what to tell you. The heron, that's a pretty big bird. Patience, focus, and self-reliance. Again, another focus here. Okay. You can see this bird's more by water. Water may resonate with you. It may help you focus. It might bring patience into the picture. Okay. Also, water helps us to be self-reliant, right? Okay, and on the bottom of the deck here, the loons, dreams, peace, and tranquility. Okay, so most of these are pairs, okay, but here the heron and the owl are kind of not so much, right? I feel like owls are more like solitary animals, right? The heron, I feel like I've seen them in a flock before, you know what I mean? Anyway. Alrighty, let's keep going. This is a different deck, but it's more like, you know, kind of about the natural world, I'll say. Okay. So if you're looking for tarot today, you're gonna have to do a different video because I don't have any regular tarot decks out for this reading. Okay, so if that's something that you prefer or are needing, there's a lot of other videos that have that. Okay, or I may just not be the reader for you. It's no big deal. It's not a big deal. Like, my experience may not resonate with your experience, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, people get so bent out of shape these days. It's like your experience is just as valid as the next person, whether you agree with it or not. You know, it's called reality. Welcome. Welcome. You know what I mean? Like, anyway, let's continue on, shall we? Tend. Maintenance, encouragement, and guidance. And it has a picture of the little garden here. So what are you going to be tending to in this spring? Are you going to set a garden? Maybe you are the industrious type that likes to do that. You can also garden indoors, you know. Okay, if you don't have like a community garden, if you're like in an area that's like that, okay, where you don't have your own yard or whatnot, there are ways, okay? Rain, speaking of gardens, what do they like? And where were we just in? We were just in April. April showers bring May flowers. So what are you going to be planning for your flowers? Cleaning, purification, and hydration. So yeah, don't be afraid to drink more water, right? I know you guys are probably tired of hearing it by now, but honestly, I feel like as you get older, it's better for you to drink more water because it helps like lubricate your joints, literally. You know, just as your car needs oil to run or your engine's gonna blow. Okay. So spring, rebuilding, awakening, rebirth. So again, those Mayflower, you know what? I found like a little robin's egg the other day underneath one of my hydrangea bushes, but then the other day I saw it again and it was like cracked open. So I don't know what happened. But some of my flowers have sprouted. I have seen some tulips though and stuff in the neighborhood. So, well, you know, just out and about anyway. So that could be a reflection of stillness as well, right? Because when you plant something, it's, you know, it blooms where it's at, right? It doesn't necessarily migrate except through like the wind spreading the seed. So that might be significant for somebody as well. Down, down, down. All right, rosemary. Ooh, it's one of my favorite herbs. Rosemary and bacon flavor goes really well together. Take my word for it. Remembrance, loyalty, and faithfulness. Okay, and with mayonnaise as well. Okay, I'm just saying. So what are you being faithful to? Okay, so as you do get older, you know, yeah, maybe you're starting to remember the importance of your health. Maybe that's something you're going to be loyal to moving forward, is your health. Okay, and that in turn can help you keep the faith too, because trust me, that muscle memory starts to come back, and then it's like, oh, I'm doing something that pleases my ancestors or somebody's ancestors, you know. I don't know what your ancestors were like, but you know, I mean, just saying, don't be afraid. You know, what's that song by Fleetwood Mac? The chain keeps us together. You know what? Them people had some messed up relationships. Don't let some false sense of loyalty keep you stuck. Yeah, they're like, the chain will keep us together. Yeah, none of them ended up together. Do you know what I'm saying? You know, it's okay to grow up and move on. Move on to the next thing. Anyway, moss agates, positivity and change. That's why I felt like, you know, it was a good thing that John Lennon broke away from the Beatles, because it's like, you know, he had a right to experience something besides the Beatles, just as they all did. You know what I mean? But some people can't accept that, right? So try to see the positivity and change that happens around you. Okay. And, you know, that might require a little bit of patience. You might be leaning on your self-reliance where you maybe didn't see it before, right? Where it's like, oh, that person knows how to change and adapt, right? But like an agate itself, it's like suspended, right? In time. Okay. But like the music that's going on behind me, like that's constantly changing, innovating. Okay. So just understand that. Preserve, security, forethought, thrift. Okay. Yeah. As things get more expensive, right? We look to save in ways that we can. So again, maybe this tending thing is going to be something you do, even if it's just like planting some little herbs or something. You know how expensive herbs are at the grocery store? I mean, what is it, like $8.99 for the little jar of whatever these days? It's ridiculous. Okay, I only buy that stuff when it's on sale. Do you know what I'm saying? So whatever. You know, you do you, boo. But I mean, maybe, you know, I'm just saying. There's all sorts of ways, kind of ways to make the world go around. So my apologies, McCormick, but I am talking to you, Celestial Seasonings. You know who you are. I'm just saying, I'm not paying over $9. I'm not paying no $10 for something of spice. I'm just not doing it. You know what I mean? Lord have mercy. What do you think this is, Baby Boom, where she upcharges the freaking yuppies that come up into Vermont, where she's stuck up there for the winter? You know? Like, dude, we ain't doing that. We are not. I mean, somebody will buy it, but it ain't gonna be me. No wonder why the old days it was the spice trade, because that stuff was expensive. Yeah, took all their money. They're like, I have nothing left but to trade these spices because everything else is so freaking expensive. Good Lord, have you seen what the price of a new pickup truck is these days? It's more than my first house. Like, what? I ain't paying that. And then you have half these cars, they don't even have a freaking keyhole in the goddamn side of the door. It's like, I ain't paying for something I can't even freaking put a key in. Freaking ignorant. No wonder why Detroit's broke. Who hired those engineers? That's what I want to know. Good luck selling your hunk of crap that they'll probably remotely turn off because you don't have your subscription service paid for. You guys know that they did that to my printer. Hewlett Packard did that to my printer. Because they have this thing called instant ink. And if you have an instant ink cartridge in, it has a little microchip that knows it's instant ink. So if your subscription goes out, your printer will shut down as if it cannot work. But if you have a regular Hewlett Packard cartridge that's not instant ink, it will work. Like, what? Oh my God. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, what is wrong with these people? I told them, I'm like, I hope whoever came up with that, I hope their Mercedes breaks down on the freaking side of the highway. See how they feel. Like, I was trying to print out my taxes. Like, this is not a good time to be playing around with people's printers that I was already paid for. That's the thing. I told the agent on the phone, I'm like, this printer is already bought and paid for several years ago. Here it is. It's time to release negativity. Full moon in Scorpio. Is that not? Oh my God. Well, aren't we glad that I pulled the little old moonology deck today? Mm-hmm. So as you're tending, right, you're going to release some of that stuff. Look at how it's like releasing up from the earth. It's like, yeah. So when you flip that soil over, the natural nitrogen is going to, lift up, right? Okay. All right, I got to move this just ever so slightly because I feel like I'm knocking into it. Okay. Sorry, I can't really see your comment. I'm the angle of the recording device is not. Okay, anyway. A time to give rather than take. Okay. So the rain here. Okay. So again, maybe that's giving yourself some kind of nourishment here. This cleansing, purification, and hydration, giving yourself peace and purity in your relationships, okay? Where it's like, if it's not an honest relationship, you're like, you know what? I'm good. So just focus on that. Yeah. Nothing will come of this situation. Okay. So this whole, like, is it fast enough? Is it too slow? Is it this? Nothing's going to come of that. So just forget it. All right. And some of that is other people's perceptions. It really doesn't have anything to do with you. If that makes sense. Okay. What do they say? Don't wrestle with a pig in the mud because the pig likes it. Some people, it's like, they don't want to understand you ever. They made up their mind a long time ago. So save your breath on those folks. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. A time for healing. Balsamic moon. Okay. Rosemary goes well with balsamic vinegar, actually. That's interesting. What else do we have? Okay, the end of a tough cycle approaches. Full moon in Kepi. Again, this kind of looks like the egg shape here. So maybe this full moon, you're going to have some kind of idea. Like, when I see an egg in a reading, I think of, ideas, okay, forming, right? And some of you could be like, ugh, I have so many ideas. Ugh, whatever. Anyway, have some patience with those ideas and then focus on it. Whatever you need to do. Maybe you need to go and get by some water and think about this idea. Okay. Maybe you can allow yourself a little vacation at the end of a tough cycle to celebrate how far you've come. Yeah, it says here, you're very close to achieving your goal. Okay. Let's continue on. I have one more deck to use. Okay, this one. All right, so. Thank you for the likes in the chat so far. Please remember to be kind to others in the chat so you don't get kicked out or banned, blocked, whatever from the channel. I don't like having to do that, but every now and then I see some stuff or people are just going on about this and that, and it's like, go start your own channel. Don't come here and argue with me. Don't come here and argue with the reader. Like, that is not what this is for. You want to go argue with somebody, go argue on your own platform, on your own little soapbox, right? And see if anybody cares, right? Okay. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the algorithm will pick you up. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. That's why I don't like really giving say like personal relationship readings necessarily, because then people will be like, oh, you said this, but then this happened. It's like, you know what? I mean, haven't you ever had that happen? You give somebody some advice and then they don't take it, and then you see what happens and they're like, oh, why don't you tell? I'm like, dude, I tried to tell you. And it doesn't matter. It's like you can't win either way. So, you know. And I mean, some people you don't even need to know them that well. It's like you can be around for 5 minutes and realize such and such or this or that ain't really their thing. You know, it's like, okay. Anyway. Ooh, Archangel Raguel. I don't think it's Raquel. I think that's a G. The number 8 here. Relationship, healing, and calm harmony. See that? It's got his little flannel on and the little yin yang. Very soothing, relaxing type of color. Okay, so maybe a nice stranger named Raguel is going to help you release some negativity, right? Maybe he's going to help you with your garden. Maybe you're going to run into him at the gardening section, right? You never know. You never know. Let's see what's next here. Okay, Sekimet, is that how it's said? Fierceness, destruction, and rebuilding. Number 36. Okay, and she's wearing the Eye of Ra here. She reminds me of like a Beyonce look here, which I think they kind of did that on purpose, don't you think? Remember when she did that one thing at the Grammys and it had the gold disc behind it? It was like that kind. It wasn't my favorite. I didn't, well, you know what I mean? Anyway, I got the whole theme of it, but I didn't care for the song, the whatever she called that, her spoken word thing that she performed. There, it wasn't my favorite. Anyway, so it says here destruction and then rebuilding. Sometimes you have to tear things down, right? Piece by piece, and then put it all back together. You ever hear of your computer defragging? All right. But then when you are put back together, all of a sudden it's like, oh, look out. She ain't stopping. You think Beyonce cares what I say about her on a freaking tarot reading? I ain't gonna stop her. You know what I mean? She's like, yeah, excuse me while I go over here and dust my 15 Grammys that I have. Okay, you know what I mean? Like, right? Does she not have a room where she can just go in there and look at all that stuff and be like, and then like her, husband's paging her and she'll be like, Jay, I'm busy. Anyway, Archangel. That's Friday, guys. You know what I mean? You gotta listen up. All right. Archangel Metatron 16. Spiritual power, esoteric wisdom. Oop. And what here? Sacred geometry. All right. He looks like he might be a little serious, but at the same time, like cool and chill. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm getting that vibe from him. Because, yes, has the esoteric wisdom, right? And you know what? There are some folks out there that are like, oh, let me tell you about life and let me tell you this. Like, you're not supposed to know anything, right? This Archangel Metatron here, he doesn't come across that way. This is more of a like, oh, hey, you're here too, right? Okay, it's not the preachy type of BS. Okay. Let's Trust me, ain't nobody got time for that. All right, 33, Hathor. Again, with the Egyptian kind of influence here, right? Okay. And we also have the full moon, right? So very much on point here tonight. Celebration, rejuvenation, and gratitude. Look at her little fringe jacket. Isn't that cute? What are those earrings? Again, not my fave, but anyway, I'm not a big cow print person. That's interesting. They put that for Hathor here. Anyway, obviously that was something in the message of the artist. Now, it kind of does remind me of the yin yang, right? And here we had this guy earlier with his yin yang. You know what I mean? Just saying. Just saying. Okay. So, a collective, this time for healing, this could be one of those things where you're like, yeah, I just threw these on. Sorry you don't like them. I don't care. I like them. Right? I've dated somebody before that like criticized my appearance and stuff and tried to put me down. And they knew they were doing it. Like it was to pick at me. That's what they were trying to do. Archangel Shamuel, unconditional love, heart healing, and self-love. Number cinco. Right? We have and look, Jesus on the bottom. Yeah. So that is really all I have for you guys. On the bottom here with Jesus, it says compassion, the spiritual teacher, and forgiveness. Right, and he has the I was always like seeing that there. Okay. So I don't know about you guys, but I would recommend getting out there and looking at the moon for a moment. Un momento, okay, or two. And having some fun. Okay. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, that didn't work for you. Well, how about this? Da-da-da! You ever see the mirror has two faces, right? It's giving that. It's giving. Okay, right? Where it says time to give. Okay. So, have some fun, experiment a little, right? Be kind of like, oh, I don't know. Not so worried that, it's going to be posted all over the internet tomorrow, as if you have your own personal paparazzi following you around, which, there's some people that are that bored in life and they do that, right? I mean, we have internet vigilantes in our town that are like, wandering after people, seeing if they throw their trash in the receptacle and stuff, like it's like go be a rent-a-cop or something. But you know what? They were probably rejected from that. So now they just stalk people and do weird stuff like that and post it online. You know what I'm saying? Like, whoa. Like you don't know how to knit. Anywho, I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. Get out there and enjoy that moon as well. And maybe, as you heard earlier, a little music. Okay? All right. Until next time, please do manifest wisely. Bye-bye.